Sitting out here making burgers and drinking beer in a hailstorm. Just sitting out here, and all of a sudden these little tiny balls come down out of the sky.
Oh, God damn it.
See that? Those were just raining all over us while we're sitting out here trying to make some burgers and drink some beers. Nothing to see here, folks. Weather's fine. No climate problems at all. We're not affecting the climate at all, are we? Just, hailstorms in May,
This is bullshit.
Here's the sky right now. Like, it's partly cloudy and a nice sunset, and right above it's just clear, but it was just hailing for like 30 seconds. And climate change has been scary to me since the 80s, so I don't get people who deny that this is way worse and getting worse, and storms are more frequent and intense, and droughts and fires, and hey, here's an idea. Let's stop using oil. Just throwing it out there. Thought I'd do a quick video on the current gas crisis and maybe some prevention tips from the future, since, does anybody remember 1979 gas crisis? Jimmy Carter gets on TV and talks about how we have to use less energy. I don't think anybody really listened, because we're in quite the situation now. This is a 1984 Rabbit. It gets better mileage than a brand new car made today. If that doesn't bother the shit out of everybody, I don't know what to say. You got your little cell phones that you carry around in your fucking pockets and everything, and all this technology, but they can't make a car get better mileage than it did in the late 70s and early 80s. This is a little diesel, but they made gas versions too. When it was new, got 50 miles per gallon. So my tip is stop using gas. I don't know why everybody's got selective amnesia. I feel like I'm in a Twilight Zone episode sometimes, because we had electric cars in the late 90s, early 90s, actually, my bad. Early 90s, there were electric cars. There was a huge waiting list for them. They were affordable, they were fast, huge demand, and the big three shut down the whole test run, canceled the waiting list, and put out big SUVs that waste humongous amounts of energy, which is finite on the finite planet that we're living on right now. And instead of bailing out the auto industry again when this slaps them in the face and they fall down again, I would simply not buy any more of their cars. Get a late 70s, early 80s vehicle, fix it up. It's going to cost you less than a new car would, and it's going to get better mileage. They made better mileage cars after that gas crisis in the 70s, and then just stopped for some reason and went in the opposite direction, the wrong direction. I haven't checked in the past month or two, but the last time I did, it was really horrifying. The current CO2 levels in our atmosphere are at 420. Back in the early 2000s, they started 350.org to educate people that if our CO2 levels went over 350, we were going to be in deep trouble with continuing to function on the planet much longer. And I just don't understand why we're still using oil. I thought it would be banned by the year 2000. Maybe I'm naive, maybe I've taken too many biology and science classes, and I read too much, but I can't believe people are still using oil. It's really mind-blowing. Yeah, this car is outfitted to run on biodiesel, which only involved changing some seals in the engine to Viton seals that are more able to withstand the erosive factors involved with running biodiesel in here. I mean, I drove this to New Jersey and back to adopt my dog like 9 years ago on one tank and didn't have to stop and pay for fuel on the way home. So I don't get these people driving around in Suburbans when they're not actually hauling anything. It doesn't make any logical sense to me. Yeah, I would love to get this fixed up and repaired and keep it on the road, because a vehicle that gets 50 miles per gallon biodiesel is going to be really handy in the future. Here is my truck, purchased with a gas engine in it, with the intent and the plans and the absolute must-happen factor, I guess, of putting a used diesel engine in it and a conversion kit. The conversion kits run about $2,000, which is what's been holding me back from doing this so far. It's gonna take a lot of savings to come up with $2,000 just for the conversion kit, and then a used engine starts at $500. Then I gotta pay somebody to help me put it in. And this is missing a few parts and obviously needs body work on the bed, as you can see. But I think it will be really worth it to drop a diesel in this and get it running on biodiesel. Just, you know, fuck oil companies. I really had it with them crapping up the planet and making us pay for all of it in more ways than one. These are just billionaires destroying the planet so they can have more green paper than we have. I don't understand why anyone's letting them do it. Let's stop using gas and oil. This is ridiculous. I mean, I'd rather get a horse than pay oil companies any more goddamn money at this point. If you live in a more urban metropolitan area, there's also scooters, e-bikes, walking, street bikes. Find some alternatives to gas and oil, because they're not going to find them for us. They're just going to totally sink the whole planet with us on it, so they can make another buck. Just say no to oil. Gotta get off of it before it kills us. Stop mainlining it. Stop shooting it into your veins, America. Kick the oil habit. Just a note, when I say biodiesel, I don't mean biodiesel that's produced ridiculously and unsustainably out of food oils. I mean biodiesel that is made from a waste product that restaurants have to pay to dispose of. You can go pick up waste oil from a Chinese food restaurant or any type of restaurant that has fried food. Indian food restaurant, any type that fries their food, and convert it into biodiesel. Or if you want to go with more conversion parts on your vehicle, you can run waste vegetable oil, which I did about a decade ago for a couple of summers. I just drove around flipping gas stations the bird all summer, not paying for fuel and driving for free. It was wonderful. But I'll post some links below on this, including one to Who Killed the Electric Car. For those of you in Gen Y and Gen Z who might not know that electric cars were around in the early 90s and were about to take off and totally be the next big thing, and the big three car companies in this country killed it. And that's who you can blame for the current mess with the climate and the gas crisis. Read up, kids.